Have you ever found yourself planning like a quick 5-minute task, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
And then hours later, you kind of emerge wondering where on earth the time actually went.
Happens to the best of us.
Or maybe you meant to send just one text and boom, the whole evening just evaporated.
Uh-huh.
We've all had those moments, where time just seems to slip through our fingers. But, well, for a lot of people, this isn't just an occasional thing.
No, it's not just a quirky lapse. For many, it's persistent.
Mm-hmm.
It's often debilitating, actually, and incredibly frustrating.
That's right. It's like a fundamental difference in how their brain perceives time, processes it, manages it.
Exactly. It's not about being forgetful sometimes. It's deeper than that.
And that's what we're diving into today. Time blindness.
Yeah.
Especially how it connects with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD.
Our mission really is to get past the usual misunderstandings.
Yeah, unpack what time blindness really is, maybe look at the neuroscience a bit.
And most importantly, give you a toolkit. Brain-friendly strategies, practical tips.
And self-compassion, too. That's vital. Helping you navigate your own relationship with time.
So if you've ever felt like time is just this abstract thing you can't quite grab.
Or maybe wondered why all that standard productivity advice just doesn't work for you.
Or felt misunderstood, for being late or forgetting things.
This deep dive is definitely for you. We want to show why just doing it isn't really the answer for an ADHD brain.
Right, and offer some actual, tangible ways, neuro-informed ways to feel a bit more in control.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, what is time blindness, fundamentally?
Well, at its core, it's this inability to instinctively sense how much time has passed.
Like you just don't feel it ticking by.
Exactly. Or to accurately guess how long a task will actually take.
And the key thing here, especially for ADHD, is that this isn't about being lazy, right? Or not caring.
Absolutely not. It's not a choice. It's not a lack of motivation. It's a genuine difference in brain wiring. It's neurological.
Most people have this sort of internal clock, yeah. Gives them a pretty steady sense of time passing.
But for someone with ADHD, that clock can be, well, all over the place. Sometimes too fast, sometimes way too slow, just unreliable.
It's like living totally in the present moment.
Kind of, yeah. People often describe it as living in time present, the past and future. They just don't really factor into active thought much.
Which makes planning ahead, especially long-term, incredibly difficult, I imagine.
You got it. It's hard to aim for a future you don't really connect with internally.
So what does this time-present focus actually look like day to day? How does it show up?
Oh, in lots of ways. One classic is waiting mode.
Waiting mode. What's that?
It's when you get stuck, basically unproductive, for ages while you're waiting for something that feels like it's about to happen right now.
But it's actually hours away?
Exactly. Like you won't start a big task because dinner feels almost here, but it's, still an hour or more off.
Yeah.
The brain just struggles to bridge that gap in time.
Ah, I see. And that probably leads straight into underestimating how long things take, right? That classic quick load of laundry.
Oh, absolutely. That quick load before a trip suddenly turns into a mad dash to the airport.
And you're left thinking, how did laundry take that long?
Precisely. Or another big one is hyperfocus.
Right, which sometimes sounds like a superpower.
It can be, but it's also when you get so absorbed in something, usually something enjoyable or stimulating.
That hours just vanish, like completely disappear without you noticing.
Yeah, you might be deep into a game or coding or a creative project, and you completely forget to eat. Or, other important things.
Like picking up the kids?
Sadly, yes. It can have real consequences.
And what about procrastination? It gets such a bad rap, often seen as laziness. But for the ADHD brain, it's different.
Very different. It's not simply choosing not to do something. It's this profound struggle to actually start a task.
Until
the pressure builds up to an acute emergency. That's when the brain finally gets the signal it needs.
It's like that immediate urgency, that high-stakes feeling.
Exactly. It provides the dopamine hit the prefrontal cortex needs to activate. Without that immediate pressure, the task just stays stuck in this vague future that never quite feels like now.
Wow. And this difficulty, apparently, it even extends to basic time concepts, like sequencing tasks.
Yes, organizing things in order, sticking to schedules, even just remembering accurately how long ago something happened.
There was that example, wasn't there? Someone asked about 9/11.
Right, in a study. Asked where they were working, and the person responded, does September come before or after August?
That just perfectly illustrates how disconnected time past can feel. It's not just about forgetting details. It's about the whole timeline being fuzzy.
And the knock-on effects in life are huge. Think about relationships.
Yeah, being chronically late, missing commitments.
It's a direct result of time blindness, but others often see it as, well, being disrespectful,
Or like you just don't care enough.
which leads to conflict, misunderstandings, loss of trust. And for the person with ADHD, immense anxiety, shame, self-blame. It's rough.
It sounds like a really heavy burden, constantly feeling like you're letting people down.
It is. And then professionally or academically, same story. Missed deadlines, rushed work.
Impacts how reliable people think you are.
Definitely. And personally, just that constant struggle, always feeling behind, it causes significant stress.
I read a survey, wasn't it like a third of adults with ADHD said time management was their biggest source of stress?
That's right. That chronic feeling of falling short, not meeting expectations, yours or others, it really chips away at your self-esteem.
Okay, so we see the impact, but let's get into the why, the brain science behind it. Because this isn't just behavior, right?
No, exactly. ADHD is fundamentally a cognitive disorder. It's about a developmental impairment of what we call executive functions.
Which are basically the brain's self-management system.
You got it. How we organize, plan, regulate ourselves. And Dr. Thomas E. Brown's work highlights 6 key ones, often impaired in ADHD, all impacting time.
Okay, what's the first one?
Activation. This is about organizing tasks, estimating time, prioritizing, and crucially, just getting started.
Ah, so that explains the chronic procrastination we talked about, where you can't start until that emergency hits.
Precisely. Initiation is the huge hurdle. Then there's focus.
Not just staying focused, but shifting focus too.
Right. It's like trying to tune an old radio. The signal fades in and out. You get distracted by things outside, but also by your own thoughts, ideas just popping up.
Okay, activation, focus. What's next?
Effort. This is about regulating your alertness, sustaining effort over long stretches, and processing things quickly.
So handling short, engaging bursts might be fine, but a long project.
Much harder. Sustaining that mental energy is tough. It also affects regulating sleep and energy levels generally.
Now, emotion was listed too. That's interesting. Maybe not the first thing people think of with ADHD. How does that fit in?
It's huge, actually.
Yeah.
While maybe not always in the main diagnostic criteria, many people with ADHD really struggle to manage frustration, anger, worry, intense emotions.
And these emotions can just take over.
Yeah, they kind of hijack your thinking. Like emotional tunnel vision. Makes it impossible to focus on anything else, including time-sensitive stuff or planning. Emotional regulation is a core part of self-management.
Makes sense. What's number 5?
Memory. Specifically, working memory. Not your long-term storage, but holding info online while you're doing something else.
Like remembering where you just put your keys or what someone just said.
Exactly. Or the steps of instructions. Crucial for sequencing tasks, which is key for time management.
And the last one?
Action. This is about monitoring and regulating what you actually do. Leads to impulsivity in speech, actions, even thoughts.
And trouble adjusting your pace, like speeding up or slowing down when needed.
Yes. Now, everyone struggles with these functions sometimes, right?
Sure, on a bad day.
But for people with ADHD, these are chronic, impairing difficulties. They affect everything throughout life.
And there's a direct link to brain chemistry here, isn't there? Dopamine.
Absolutely. Those brain regions involved in time perception, like the prefrontal cortex, they often show lower activity levels in ADHD.
And that's linked to dopamine signaling disruptions.
Directly. Dopamine is key for motivation, reward, attention. When levels are low, say, when you're bored or understimulated, time feels like it drags or just slips away unnoticed.
That explains why treatments targeting dopamine often help with time awareness.
It does, and it connects to something called scalar expectancy theory, SESET. It suggests we have this internal clock influenced by things like heart rate, light, body temperature.
So for ADHD, that internal clock might just run inconsistently.
Exactly. It's not calibrated reliably, which helps explain why things like good sleep or even the lighting in your room can actually impact your sense of time. It gives us different angles for strategies.
Okay, that leads to a big question. If focus and time are such a struggle, why can people with ADHD sometimes hyper-focus like crazy on things they enjoy?
Right. Or pull off amazing feats under terrifying deadlines.
Yeah. What's going on there? Is it willpower suddenly kicking in?
No, that's the crucial misunderstanding. It's not willpower. When the task is super interesting or the consequences of not doing it are immediate and scary.
The brain gets a jolt.
Instantly. A burst of chemical stimulation, that dopamine hit we talked about, it activates those executive functions. but it's not voluntary.
Like, you can't just decide to have that chemical reaction.
Nope. It's a biochemical response to the situation, high interest or high stakes. Not a choice to suddenly try harder.
That clears up a lot of potential judgment, thank goodness. Let's look at some research. Dr. Russell Barkley's work is pretty foundational here, isn't it?
Hugely. He showed that while people with ADHD might perceive time intervals okay in a lab.
Like, they can tell if 30 seconds have passed if they're just focused on that?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
But their ability to use that time perception to guide their actions in the real world, that's severely impaired. Reproducing the interval, acting on it.
And that gets worse over time.
Often, yes, as life demands more self-management. Barkley considers time management one of the biggest, most unique deficits in ADHD. Says no other psychiatric disorder messes with it quite like this.
Wow. But then there was that Czech study you mentioned, sort of a counterpoint.
Right, a more recent one. They looked at adults with varying ADHD symptoms, and in specific lab tasks like estimating duration, they didn't find significant objective differences.
Okay, hold on. That sounds contradictory. If they didn't find objective differences in the lab, does that mean time blindness isn't real? Or is it more complex?
It's more complex. It suggests that the subjective experience of struggling with time management is absolutely real. But maybe in a controlled lab setting, people can compensate somehow.
So the problem isn't necessarily a broken stopwatch in the brain.
Perhaps not entirely. It might be more about how attention and executive functions struggle to apply time perception in the messy, demanding real world. It's using the clock effectively when lots of other things are going on.
That makes sense. The lab is simple, life isn't.
Exactly. And speaking of development, the old idea was symptoms had to start before age 7.
But that's changed.
Yeah, research shows significant impairment might not show up until teens or early adulthood. That's when executive functions are supposed to fully mature, and life's demands for self-management just shoot up.
So you might only get diagnosed later in life because that's when the supports fall away and the challenges become obvious.
Precisely. Your coping strategies just get overwhelmed.
Okay, so knowing all this, what can we actually do? How do we work with the ADHD brain on this?
First step, absolutely crucial. Embrace trial and error.
Because standard productivity hacks often don't work.
They often fail spectacularly because they're designed for neurotypical brains.
Yeah.
The key is finding your system, what's brain-friendly for you, and that means experimenting. No shame in trying something and having it not work.
Right. So one big strategy area is making time tangible, creating external scaffolding.
Since the internal clock is unreliable, you need reliable external cues. Simple as putting clocks everywhere.
Like multiple clocks, invisible spots.
Yep. Bathrooms, kitchen, bedroom. Analog clocks are great because you can see the time passing, the hands moving. Digital gives you that quick, precise check.
And visual timers seem huge for this community. I heard about one, the Yunbite visual timer, with the red disc that disappears.
Oh yeah, those are fantastic.
Huh.
Or any timer that shows time visually diminishing.
Why are they so effective?
Because they bypass the abstract concept of time. You see it running out. It's a concrete external signal replacing a weak internal one. It supports that executive function externally.
Makes sense. And beyond clocks, written aids.
Definitely. Whiteboards for urgent to-dos, bullet journals, even simple ones for tasks, tracking things, future notes. Some people use color-coded sticky notes.
Like light colors for quick tasks, dark for complex ones.
Stuff like that. Whatever system makes sense visually. And maybe try an I did today list instead of just a to-do list.
Oh, I like that. Focus on accomplishment.
Exactly. It gives you that little dopamine boost, reinforces effort.
Okay, what about structuring the day, using alarms and timers strategically?
Absolutely essential. Go beyond just wake-up alarms. Set pre-timers.
Pre-timers, like a warning signal.
Yeah, maybe 5 or 10 minutes before you need to stop something or switch tasks. It helps break hyperfocus gently, gives you time to transition mentally, avoids that jarring stop and review feeling.
Good tip. And maybe multiple alarms for routines.
Definitely. If mornings are tough, set one for 30 minutes early, one for getting dressed, one for breakfast, one for keys and wallet. Break it down.
Some people use smartwatches with vibrating alarms.
Yes. Silent, vibrating alarms every 15 or 30 minutes can give you constant, low-key time awareness without being annoying, especially if you start tuning out audible alarms. Some can even auto-repeat.
Music seems like another popular tool for structure, trading playlists for specific tasks.
Yeah, that's a great one. Make a playlist that's the exact length of the task you need to do. Hour of cleaning. 1 hour playlist. Start when the music starts, stop when it ends.
How does that work with the ADHD brain?
It gives a clear auditory boundary. makes the duration feel tangible. Plus, the music itself can be stimulating, boost dopamine, make boring tasks less, well, boring, and it's a transition cue.
What about background music or podcasts?
Great for focus during work,
Mm.
maybe instrumental stuff, ADHD-focused music, nature sounds. And audiobooks or podcasts are brilliant for chores. Makes dusting way more engaging, provides that auditory input, distracts from the monotony.
Okay, let's talk about reframing tasks. Big projects feel overwhelming. The advice is usually break it down.
Into tiny microtasks, things you could do in under 5 minutes.
But how do you actually get motivated to do those tiny tasks?
The secret sauce. Pair them with immediate small rewards.
Like what?
Finish a microtask, get a quick dopamine hit, maybe a quick walk outside, your favorite snack, a 30-second stretch, even just checking the box with a satisfying marker.
So you're reinforcing the action right away.
Exactly. It's like the 5-minute rule.
Yeah.
Commit to just 5 minutes on that task you're dreading. Often, starting is the hardest bit. Once you get that initial reward feedback, you might keep going.
And that other tip, overestimate time.
Oh yeah, the rule of thumb is often multiply your estimate by 3. If you think it'll take 10 minutes, budget 30. It sounds crazy, but it's often more realistic.
Such a practical hack. And mindset-wise, progress, not perfection. Why is that so important here?
Because the constant struggle with time breeds feelings of failure and inadequacy. Focusing on any progress, even tiny steps, helps build self-compassion.
It counters the shame spiral.
Exactly. You focus on what you did do, not what you didn't. It builds a healthier relationship with your efforts, boosts motivation. Batching similar tasks can help too, getting into a flow state.
Like grading all the same page on a stack of papers.
Yeah, and building just one consistent routine, even something small like waking up at the same time, can gradually improve your internal sense of time.
No, hyperfocus. It's that paradox superpower and major pitfall. How do you manage that?
First, know your triggers. What pulls you into that hyperfocus vortex? If you know gaming does it, schedule important stuff before you start playing.
Makes sense. Plan around it.
And try body doubling.
Working alongside someone else, even virtually.
Yeah, just having another person present, even silently on Zoom, can provide an external anchor. It helps maintain time awareness when your internal sense goes offline.
What about getting out of hyperfocus?
Use those pre-timers we talked about. Layered alarms. Maybe sensory cues like music changing tempo or a scheduled quick movement break. Make the transition gentle, not abrupt.
And plan for recovery time afterwards.
Definitely. Hyperfocus can be draining. You need a buffer, time to reset before jumping into the next thing.
But you can also lean into it sometimes, optimize it.
Absolutely. If you know you hyperfocus well on certain types of work, schedule those deep work sessions strategically for your most important tasks. Turn it into an advantage.
What about using nature? Can that help calibrate your time sense?
It really can. Simple things like noticing the sun's position or hearing birds chirping at dawn and glancing at a clock reinforces that connection.
Just being outside helps too, right? Green spaces.
Hugely. Calms the mind, improves focus, which indirectly helps time management. Even bringing nature indoors, plants, nature sounds, a window view can regulate emotions and maybe even time awareness.
Mindfulness in nature, like mindful walking.
Great for strengthening internal time tracking because it grounds you in the present moment in a calm way.
And aligning with light cycles. Waking with the sun.
That can regulate your internal clock over time. A dawn simulator alarm clock is amazing. For this wakes you gently with light. Better sleep, better focus, better time management. It's all about designing your environment to support your brain.
Which brings us to relationships and support. Because time blindness really takes a toll there.
Oh, definitely. We mentioned the frustration from others, interpreting lateness as disrespect. It creates so much anxiety and shame.
It's a painful cycle, so step one has to be self-compassion.
Absolutely paramount. Understanding your brain isn't broken, it's just wired differently. That's the foundation for self-acceptance. You deserve understanding, not constant criticism, especially from yourself.
And then self-advocacy, talking about it.
Yes, but strategically. Decide who you trust, how much you need to share. You don't always have to say ADHD or time blindness.
What can you say instead?
Simple, clear things. I genuinely struggle with estimating how long tasks take, or I can easily lose track of time when I'm really focused. Frame it as a neurological difference, not a character flaw.
And being clear about what support you need.
Don't be afraid to ask trusted people for gentle reminders. Or if you're slow responding to messages, explain why. I do care, but time slipped away. I sometimes lose track of days.
Or asking for patience. Would you mind being patient with me around deadlines?
Exactly. And that social accountability piece, again, body doubling, checking in with a friend or supervisor, building that external structure consciously.
And finally, professional help. Medication often comes up.
Yes, ADHD meds, especially stimulants, often significantly improve time perception and management for many people. But, and this is crucial, dosing is very individual. It needs careful work with a doctor.
Not a magic bullet, but a potentially powerful tool.
Right. And ADHD coaching is another great resource. Coaches specialize in developing personalized strategies and structures for time management, productivity, tailored to you.
And therapy.
Also vital. Remember, adults with ADHD have a much higher chance of other co-occurring conditions, like anxiety or depression. Integrated treatment with a therapist or psychiatrist is often essential for overall well-being.
Wow, we've covered a lot. From what time blindness is, the brain science, the executive function,
So a whole load of creative, brain-friendly strategies.
and landing on the importance of self-compassion and communication.
It's clear, isn't it? Living with time blindness is a real challenge in a world that runs on a different clock.
But it's also so clear that you're not alone in this. And there are so many ways to work with your brain, find your own rhythm.
You absolutely can.
So here's something to think about. If our sense of time is so tied to our brain wiring and also to the external cues we use, what could happen? What possibilities open up if we really lean into that difference? If we intentionally design our lives, our routines, our spaces, not just to manage time, but maybe to actually feel time differently. As an ally, maybe, not an enemy.